Well, I think it's the 19th of November, 2 days after I finished my muck spreading on here. In my last video, I was spreading this pile, and then the time lapse got a bit too dark. I think the camera ran out of battery. But I got all this field done, and I actually managed to spread the majority of that field. It was very wet at the top there, but I think it's done a good job. We've decent layer of muck on here for the winter. Not made any mess. Barely even see the wheel marks. But yeah, we've had a lot of snow in the night, and the snow's melting now, and it's just leaving the ground saturated. But yeah, I'm glad I got this on. So yeah, and I'm amazed I managed to spread muck on that field. I really am. So there's only maybe a couple of loads in this field left to do, and then this whole block of land has had a decent layer of muck. Well, it's had two applications of muck this year, because it had one in between first and second cut as well. So yeah, I shouldn't need to worry about getting anything on in the spring. Right, I'm just taking this digger. We're going to go and do a job. We've got to knock a little woodshed down for someone, and it's going to be easier with the digger. So I'm going to track the digger down to the Land Rover, because I'll get stuck trying to tow it out of here. If the digger will start, we'll see. Well, the digger didn't start. Surprise, surprise. But I have got the jump leads with me, so I'm going to drop my trailer off. See if I can drive up here with the Land Rover to get close enough to jump start it. Hopefully save me going home. I thought I was going to have to go home, but then I've just remembered I have got the jump leads with me, so we might be okay. Lovely. I never doubted for a second. We're just here putting this electric fence up in our last grass field to graze at home. There's loads of grass on here. I don't know whether the camera picks it up, but it could have been mowed again. It's all gone. It's all lying down flat now, but it could have been mowed again if we had the weather and the window to do it. But we never got to this field, so this is our last big grazing field for the 50 odd sheep that I've got. And then I don't know, depending on how wet it is when they stay in here, if we have like a month of dry weather, they might gain a bit of weight and be ready to sell, some of them. Or if it rains now for the next month up to Christmas, they'll probably not gain any weight at all, so I'll have to find somewhere else for them to go. So yeah, I was just showing, Dan's over there, he's putting posts in. We're just rolling this wire out, because this ditch bank all the way from the top all the way around up to there is like open. They could jump over the ditch if they wanted. The rest of the field, that's a really solid hedge road. That's our land the other side anyway, and then it's sheep wired from there all the way up to the top gate, so we're not worried about that. This ditch here, this is a ditch that runs from the top of that field, well, all the way it goes into someone else's land, but it runs to here, and then it also runs from that direction to here, and then it stops here. There's nowhere for the water, no place for the water to go when it gets to here. So what it used to do was fill up and then just run over the top of the field, across the field. So there's another ditch over in that corner. Well, there's a ditch that runs all the way down this hedge line, the other side of the hedge line, and then it goes off down there, and then it goes under the road and under the motorway. But this ditch never made any sense because it never had anywhere to go. So about 4 years ago maybe, we dug a trench from here straight across to one of the gaps in the trees over there, and just put a pipe in, and it's never stopped running the whole time we've done it. This is the pipe here. It's only like a 4-inch pipe, But yeah, it's just the water levels never got above this, and that the pipe the other end is just constantly flowing. So it's made this whole part of the field loads drier, even though it is still wet. But yeah, that was one really beneficial pipe that we put in. We could do with doing loads more of those, really. We could do with doing another one at the top of the field, but it's all rented ground, so it's a job to know how much to do. There's a pile of brush there that from that tree that fell down a couple of years ago that I never got round to burning. But yeah, so hopefully the sheep will be in here for a month. If it stays dry, if it stays wet, it's a very wet field anyway, so if it stays wet, they'll just tread most of it into the ground. Like the 4-acre field that they're on now, they haven't eaten most of the grass, they've just treaded it in, and it's just a muddy mess. So we'll see, fingers crossed. We've decided to bite the bullet and put the new tyres on, because we've got sick of changing the ones that were on the back. Just kept getting punctures repeatedly. And there's a bit of tread left on them, but they've had that many repairs before they became tube tyres that the repairs inside the tyre kept pinching the tube, and I don't think this one's too bad. A couple of patches on that. Patch on that one. This is one of the old tubes that we've been using. And there's just quite a few patches on it. 1, 2, 3 there in a row. So basically we got sick of it. So we've decided to bite the bullet and put the new... I've had 2 new tyres for it for quite a while. But I've been reluctant to put them on because I wanted to try and wear the old tyres out as best as I could. So I think it's the 17th of December, and well, we've been doing logs for the past week or so. This is how far we've got. This bay was completely empty, so all we do is build a bit of a wall up the side and then just tip them in with a little dumper truck until we get to the point where we have to throw them in. Yeah, it's actually my dad's dumper, we've just been borrowing it, but it's really handy for doing logs because you can drive right into that little woodshed and tip it up. It's also got a high tip on it as well, which is quite handy. So yeah, we've been working on logs and just looking after these cattle really. Not been getting a huge amount done because the daylight hours are so small, but yeah, the cattle are all doing pretty well. We've had quite a lot of brewers' grains recently, so So yeah, we're slowly getting through the straw, but nowhere near as quick as I thought we would be, to be honest. I think we're going to make it to Christmas having only used one bay of straw, which is quite impressive. It seems to be going a long way, although we have been using some quite dry silage, which has probably helped, and we've been getting quite a lot of horse muck to put in the passageway, which also does save a lot of straw. So yeah, I'm just feeding the hens. I've got hen food. I've emptied that bin out. There's another load of feed coming on Thursday, so one of the hen sheds is nearly empty. So I'm just going to take that down there. But yeah, this pile of logs here that we filled up, that's been there for almost 2 years. We've been using this bay. We try and just alternate them. But that's bone dry. And all this wood is seasoned because it's been sat out in that pile for, some of it's been there two maybe 3 years. So it's very well seasoned. Some of it's borderline starting to rot. But it just wants a year or two to dry out now, which I think it'll get, because I think that wood in there will last us. Even though between us we've got 2 or 3 log burners going, but it's been quite warm. It's quite warm. They're forecasting it to be warm till Christmas now. You know, it's over 10 degrees now. All our hen sheds are getting up towards 20 degrees on their own. We haven't started fixing this muck spreader yet. It needs a bit of welding. This channel needs the crack welding up and maybe plating up, and then inside the bed it needs some plates welding on. I have done some in the past, but obviously I've done that piece and I've done this piece, but this middle bit needs doing, and then along that edge. But for its age, it's in surprisingly good nick, this spreader. One of the lights stopped working as well, which we need to deal with. But yeah, we had a storm. Well, as most people will know if you're in the UK, we had a storm a week or so ago, and it blew the lid off that sheet. Blew that sheet off. And what we found was that it's not storing anywhere near as well as we hoped it would be, that straw. I don't think that sheet's very waterproof anymore. So I think we're going to try and get that straw used up reasonably soon, because it's just not keeping very well. We were thinking maybe once I've got enough room in the shed, I could move it all into the shed, because once you take the sheet off, you kind of, if you have a windy day, it's going to blow off completely, because it's all kind of tied down at the moment. So yeah, so that's what we've been doing anyway. We've had the log splitter going. We've had the log splitter plumbed up to the digger, because the digger's got a really good hydraulic pump on it, and it just seems to run the log splitter really fast with it just ticking over. So we thought that'll use the least amount of fuel, really, save running it on a tractor. So yeah, that's what we've been up to. Not a lot really. Haven't got a huge amount done in the last couple of weeks, but sold a couple of sheep. Probably got some more to sell. They've just about finished, I think. I've just shown you in this video a clip of us putting the sheep on the field where they are, which is probably nearly grazed off now. Luckily we've had some quite good weather, but they will be running out of grass, so hopefully I'm going to have a sort through them and have a weigh and see if there's any of them that are big enough to sell. I don't know whether it'll be before Christmas or more than likely after Christmas now. So yeah, and the calves are doing well. I'll take you down to the calf shed, because we're just starting, the machine is just starting to wean off the first batch of calves that we've had on the machine. So generally they've done really well. I'm really pleased with it. Used a hell of a lot of milk powder, but I don't think that does them any harm. Whether it'll work out cost effective or not, I don't know, but we'll see. So yeah, anyway, I'm going to go and feed these hens. Yeah, we've put the last 2 set of tyres on this JCB because we just got fed up with the back ones going down, so we put the front ones that were on the front on the back, and then 2 brand new tyres on the front. Desperately needs a wash. It's the right mess. And it seems like the baffles have gone in the exhaust pipe already, which is really disappointing because it's only a couple of months old, that exhaust box, and it costs quite a lot of money, but it seems to be rattling like mad. But yeah, we've just been waiting for this flock of hens which are not in lay yet. I can't remember if I mentioned it in my last video, but they set us back a couple of weeks because there was a shortage of pullets in the shed that we were supposed to be getting them from, which has meant that we were going to have them in lay for Christmas, but now, well, we're at the 17th of December, and I think we've just started getting some, but less than a tray we got yesterday, half a tray maybe, just over a dozen, so which is not much use to us because, you know, the egg trade goes absolutely mad now. I'm already getting double, triple orders for all of our customers for this week, and I just don't have the eggs, which is really, it's just stressful because you're going to be letting loads of people down. But any egg that gets laid from that shed between now and Christmas will be sold. I've no doubt about that. But I just don't. They didn't come into lay as quick as I was hoping. But what can you do? I'm going to have plenty of eggs in January when nobody wants them. I'm going to have them racked sky high, I think. But yeah, I'm just going to go in this shed and auger the food in because they were a bit short of food this morning. And then I'll take you to see the calves. Not used as much. I think it started weaning a couple of them now, depending on what age I put them in at when they came. So ones that were slightly bigger, I made them look as though they had an older age so that they weaned a bit earlier. So some of them have gone down from 2.8 litres every, that must be a half day, to 1.8. So they'll gradually just keep reducing now till they're weaned. Number 6 is still struggling. Number 6 I think is that blue that's lying down in the middle. But yeah, on the whole they've done really well. This ginger limb in the middle didn't do so well. I got 2 of them together from the same farm, and the other one was quite poorly from day one, and that one, unfortunately, we lost that one. But this one isn't too bad, but it's certainly not one of the best ones of the bunch. But I've been trying not to jab them too much. I don't know whether that's the right thing or not. I've been just letting them get over their ailments on their own, which, to be fair, almost all of them have, apart from the one that got poorly and just was always poorly. I think I did jab it once, but the rest of them I've just left them the last couple of weeks, and they all seem to have come round on their own. So whether that's the right way to do it or not, I don't know. I just think it's a bit of a slippery slope if you start jabbing things too much. And I know that, like, giving things anti-inflammatories and antibiotics can upset the gut health of the animals. So it's, I don't know, pros and cons, isn't it? I don't really know what's the best. I feel like you've got to be all in one way or the other, really. You can't dabble. If you're going to jab them, you've got to jab them, and if you're not going to jab them, you just, let's say, have a blanket no rule. But yeah, they're getting through quite a bit more silage, and they need some straw today, so that's on the job list. I haven't been bringing, I've been using that little dumper actually, and just been bringing a dumper load down, which was every other day, but now they seem to be getting through a dumper load every day. So I'm thinking they could probably manage the majority of a bale, so I might see if I can bring something down with JCB, which is a bit easier now. You can get in through here. We had a stack of bales here which we've fed and used mostly to get them out of the way, so I can drive through here, whereas before I was having to drive across the field and it's getting wetter and wetter and making a mess. So yeah, this video's not been very exciting. There's not been a huge amount going on. I did film a couple of bits for the beginning of this December video with my camera, which I've now lost once again. It's becoming a bit of a theme, but yeah, I filmed a couple of bits with my camera. We lost the camera, and basically we've spent the last 2 weeks looking everywhere for it, thinking it's bound to turn up, and it hasn't turned up. So we're just going to have to accept that it's lost, which is a real shame, because it was my favourite camera that I've had. I'm back using my old GoPro, which is all smashed up, so I can't see any of the screens on it. So you just have to turn it on and hope that it's working. The red light's flashing, so if you're watching this, then obviously we're on to a winner. If not, I'm going to find out when I come to edit it that none of this is recorded, or maybe it's all recorded in time-lapse, I don't know. So yeah, it's a bit of a shame that I've lost my camera, but that's kind of the main reason why I haven't filmed anything for most of December, because we've just been every day hoping that the camera's going to turn up, but we've run out of places to look for it, and it's a no-show. So I've got to assume that it's probably gone for good. But anyway, we'll put this video up if it's recorded, and just a little update really on what we haven't been doing. Logs. Dan's been helping my other brother out. He's been delivering some Christmas trees a couple of days a week, so he's not been around as much. And yeah, we've had some terrible weather, and we've had some very, as everyone is, having some very short days, so it doesn't feel like you can get a lot done. But cattle are all doing well, but there's not really any need to film us feeding the cattle every day, because it's quite monotonous. But yeah, we're getting to the point where we're nearly. I did have hopes of getting that bunch of calves weaned before Christmas, but I decided that it was just going to be rushing them too much, so I'm just letting them carry on their milk machine routine. So they'll all be weaned just after Christmas, I think, and then we'll have to have a bit of a shuffle, sell a couple of more, move a couple more up into the top yard. We did have hopes to get some concreting done and make another pen, which we still might do, because we've got everything set up. Just need a couple of panels and to hang some gates. So yeah, hopefully the next video will be a bit more going on. We've got lots of ideas and lots of plans, so this is just a little December update. And I'm off to go and see my son's Christmas performance today, so that'll be the rest of the day gone. But I'm quite looking forward to it, actually. So right, thanks for watching this one. I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.